Okay, so one thing you could do is highlight both of these, and that doesn't require any of the shift click thing, right? Because they're next to each other.
Yes.
Right, and so then I can just do insert, and I'm going to insert my pie chart. Okay, so let's just keep it a pretty simple pie chart. Okay, and we got our categories down there, which is good, but there's nothing on here, right? So I'm going to click in here. I'm going to right click in any of these sections, but make sure they're all highlighted. Okay, and I'm going to add data labels, right? And so it's going to do that, right? And right now it's adding the data labels for these monetary values because that's what's here, right? But if I click on a label, now again, they're all highlighted, right? And I'm going to right click on this. I can say format data labels here, okay? And right now it's showing the value. I can just change that. I can say show percentage instead, right? So there's one way of doing this, right? So a different way, because I'm actually using these values here, and I'm having Excel just do this in the background by changing these labels, right? So that's something I can do. And if you want to, you can even, like if you wanted the category names in here, you could decorate it by putting category names in there, right? Like that. And then if you did that, again, I'm just doing all this stuff so everyone can see this, right? Then we can get rid of the legend and we have a picture like that. So that's another thing you could do, right? So there's many options you could do here. Okay, so there's one. Okay, here's another. This is the one you've already figured out. Okay, so I'm going to highlight these. Okay, then you're right. I need to push Control, click, drag, right? And then I get them both. If I don't push the Control, then I would highlight these. And if I try to come over here and grab those would become unhighlighted, right? If I highlight these and push Control and then drag, this works on Windows. It works on Linux. Well, I don't know if Linux uses Excel, so maybe it doesn't work on Linux because there's no Excel. But if you're doing Google Sheets, it works. I don't know what to do on Macs. Okay, so I'm just going to put that out there for the audience that may be listening, right? But once I've highlighted the right things, then we can do the same thing, right? I can do insert, and I can stick this pie chart in there, right? Again, it comes without labels initially, right? So when I click this and say add labels, and now it defaults to the percentages because that's what I have here, right? So now I can't, if I were to choose, like this is a little funny. If I were to do format data labels, right? This is actually showing values now, but that's because the values are the percentages, right? And if I were to unclick this and choose percent, whoop, whoa, what happened there? Oh no. Oh, I accidentally got rid of them. Let's try add data labels. I was trying to format them. Okay. Format data labels. Okay, so if I put percentages there, right, then it actually looks the same, right? Because it's taking these numbers and it's just replacing the percentage by the percentage, which is the same thing, right? And then, by the way, if you want to, like here, it's not showing the decimal places, right? Right. So again, all these are highlighted. So let me click over here. So now nothing's highlighted. I click in one and they all highlight, right? And I can come here. Oh, I thought I could add. Actually, how do I do this? I want to say, how do I add decimal places? That's what I'm trying to do. I guess maybe you have to come down here under the format and hit number, format code. I don't know. I thought I could just add decimal places here, but it's not letting me do it. Okay, well, I'll have to figure that one out. Put that in a different video. Okay. And then the other way, right?
So I think when I tried to do the way just now you did it, the decimal point came by itself.
It did a minute ago when we were using these numbers, but it didn't when I was using this. So I don't know why it did that, but that's whatever. It's doing something. So here's the other way. Okay, so here's another way. I could highlight everything. Actually, I don't know if this will work for a pie chart. Now that I'm thinking about this may cause a trouble. Let me see what happens. Insert. Let me try to. I'm going to see what happens. Stick a pie chart. No, it did it. Yeah, I guess, okay, right. The percentages are actually the same. So these may be sitting on top of each other, right? Because this size of this and the percentage of that are actually the same. So even if this is sort of on here twice, right? They would be sitting in exactly the same place, right? But that's not really the point. The point is this: I can come up here and choose select data right here, right? And then I can say don't use this, right? So that's actually in they're go in order, right? So series, so the labels are here, that's that, right? Series 1 will be this bit, and so I can just turn that off right there, right? So that's another way you could do it. So instead of being careful about what you highlight, you can just highlight everything, and then once you get the plot up there, you can just go in and turn off various series, right? So again, now I can go in, I can add my data labels, right? And it does what I want it to do, right? So again, just to show you where that was, right? It's right here where it says select data, right? I can click on that, and you can turn on and off these series. So if I turn that on, I could turn this one off, right? Like that. And then when I did that, right, I got rid of the labels. But now if I put the labels on here, it's going to be the monetary values, right? It even highlights what's being showed, right? It's being shown those two pieces. Right, so if I had data, right? So now it's doing those, right? So again, just one more time for repetition, right? So now I want to put the percentages back. So I turn this one off. Actually, let's see if I turn them both on, what do I get? So they're both on. They both have labels, maybe. I don't know. Okay. I'm not sure. Okay, anyway, the dollar signs are showing, and I'm not really sure which series is up on top at this point. This gets a little confusing because we have two things kind of overlaying on top of each other that look exactly the same, right? But anyway, the point is you can use this select data and turn stuff on and off. So if I turn that back off, do this, then I'm back to just the percentages. Okay. So that's the third way, right? So now we've gone through 3 ways, and I bet someone could be slick about it and find another way, but there's 3 different ways of dealing with that. In particular, this way will work on the Mac. You can just highlight all 3 rows, right? Build your chart, and then after you're done, go back and turn off some of the data. So that it's a useful thing to know.